Multiplying decimals by 10, 100 and 1000. You know when you multiply a number by 10, you add a 0. When you multiply by 100, you add 2 zeros. And when you multiply by 1000, you add 3 zeros. Now let's see how that works when there's a decimal involved. You can think of regular whole numbers as including a decimal point, even if we don't usually see it. So 23 can also be thought of as 23.0. It's the same thing, it's just 23 and no fractional parts. No big deal there. When I multiply 23 by 10, you know we'll get 230 because when we multiply by 10, we put a 0 on the end. These two values are the same. So if I multiply 23.0 by 10, the answer will be the same. Look what happens with the decimal point as we do that multiplication. The decimal point moves one place to the right. 230 point. There's no digit after this, so we can leave the decimal point off and just say equals 230. Let's do another one. 57, which is really the same as 57.0. If I multiply it by 10, I move that decimal point one place to the right. 570. The same answer as if we just said put a 0 on the end because we're multiplying by 10. This understanding really helps when we have to multiply decimal numbers by 10 or 100 or 1000. Let's say I have the problem 45.34 and we've got to multiply it by 10. Before this video, you might have just set it up and worked out a multiplication problem, but you don't need to do that now, do you? Instead, now you know that to multiply by 10, you can move the decimal point one place to the right. So, 45.34 times 10 is 453.4. And what if we had 5.248 and we have to multiply it by 100? 100 has 2 zeros. We need to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. 1, 2, 524.8. And what if we had 1.0457 and we had to multiply that by 1000? 1000 has 3 zeros, so we're moving the decimal point 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. 1045.7. Okay, now let's consider very small decimal numbers like this. And we're going to multiply by 100. Move the decimal point 2 places to the right, 001.5. Does that look right to you? I moved the point correctly, but what's up with those zeros? Do we normally write 1 as 001? Of course not. Those zeros are just empty placeholders telling us 010s and 000s. We don't need them at all. In our answer, we just show 0.015 times 100 is 1.5. What about this one? We have to multiply 0.00368 by 1000. We're going to move the decimal point 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. And we can dump those place-holding zeros at the beginning. So we've got our answer, 3.68. First you do the multiplication step and move the decimal point. Then remove the place-holding zeros afterwards. And if you happen to have a bunch of zeros in the middle of the number, leave them right there. In this one, move the decimal point 1, 2 places, and we get 400.06 as our answer. When zeros are in the middle of the number, they are important. Okay, now I think you're ready to rock. See you soon on Let's Do Math.